Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Gaming News Roundup. We're going over the latest gaming news, gaming sales, and gaming industry information. And like lately, the last bunch of videos, we're going to be talking about Microsoft's Activision Blizzard acquisition, which had a deadline of last night, at the time of this recording, July 18th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. However, Microsoft and Activision Blizzard have agreed on an extension for the deadline, being moved from July 18th all the way out to October 18th is the new deadline, but I expect the deal to close well before then. At this point, it's been approved everywhere but the UK, and the UK regulator and Microsoft and Activision Blizzard are working out a new deal to get the deal approved in the UK based on different changes. They just don't want this to die exactly, Emerald. I mean, these articles on VGChartz get more views than pretty much anything else I write about. And here on YouTube, well, they get more views than anything else I record videos for. So go figure. So Microsoft Gaming, Microsoft Gaming CEO, Phil Spencer, on Twitter, announced Microsoft and Activision Blizzard have extended the merger agreement deadline to October 18th. That's not the 18th, the 10th day of the 18th month. We're in the US here. We're optimistic about getting this done and excited about bringing more games to more players everywhere. And Activision's Blizzard CCO and EVP of Corporate Affairs, Lulu Chang Meservey, mentioned on Twitter the recent decision in the US and approvals in 40 countries. It has not been approved in 40 countries. All validate that the deal is good for competition players and the future of gaming. Given global regulatory approvals and the company's confidence that the CMA now recognizes there are remedies available to meet their concerns in the UK, the Activision Blizzard and Microsoft boards of directors have authorized the companies not to terminate the deal until after October 18th. We're confident in our next steps and that our deal will close quickly. Thinking about the deal will close quickly, and I am thinking probably early August-ish. I know my last video was it might close by the end of next week, which would be this week, I guess, technically, because I was recorded last week, but yeah, I'm thinking maybe late July at the earliest, probably beginning of August, but we'll get into more details in a moment. Microsoft Vice Chair and President Brad Smith also in a statement, together with Activision, we are announcing the extension of our merger agreement to October 18th to provide ample time to work through the final regulatory issues. We will honor all commitments agreed upon with the European Commission and other regulators and continue to work with the CMA, the UK regulator, on the issues raised in the UK. We are confident about our prospects for getting this deal across the finish line, getting it closed and done with. And speaking of, funnily enough, this is all on Microsoft, nothing to do with Activision Blizzard. If you look at the best-selling games on Xbox right now, it's all old Call of Duty games because Microsoft fixed and got the servers working again for old Call of Duty games on Xbox specifically. Nothing to do with Activision Blizzard. Microsoft went and fixed it, and then there's a crazy amount of people going back and replaying like original Modern Warfare games and Black Ops and whatnot. Absolutely wild, out of nowhere. Microsoft and Activision Blizzard have agreed. They've also agreed to a higher termination fees and new commercial arrangements for the acquisition. Microsoft now has to pay a termination fee of $3.5 billion if either part walks away from the deal starting on August 29th, which will then be increased on September 15th to $4.5 billion. Now, here's the interesting thing about that $3.5 billion on August 29th, is it'll go up to. The CMA, the UK regulator, did extend their deadline to make a final order on the Microsoft's Activision Blizzard acquisition from July 18th to August 29th. That is the deadline the CMA in the UK has to make its final order, unless they extend it again. But Microsoft, Activision Blizzard are working with the CMA in the UK on new remedies to get the deal across the line and approved at this point, which has been approved in Turkey, South Africa, South Korea, China, European Union, Ukraine, Japan, Chile, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, and Serbia, and also Microsoft won its case against the FTC in the US, which was trying to block the deal. So technically it wasn't approved in the US. It's more the fact that the FTC was trying to block the deal and they failed, so it's kind of approved, not really approved in the US. At this point, it's pretty much approved in the US, even though it's not really officially approved. It's more of the fact that it's not blocked in the US. So now Microsoft can go and close the deal once they work out a deal with the UK regulator, the CMA. And we got a little statement here, internal memo from Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer to employees, to his team. Microsoft and Activision Blizzard remain optimistic that we will get our acquisition over the finish line, so we have jointly agreed to extend the merger agreement to October 18th, 2023. While we can technically close in the US, due to recent legal developments, they pretty much can close everywhere but the UK at this point. This extension gives us additional time to resolve the remaining regulatory concerns in the UK. I want to thank everyone for your time and energy in support of the regulatory process and on all the great work coming to fruition for Xbox this year. I guess probably referring to Starfield, which comes out September 6th, I think. I think it's the 6th, and then if you get early access, it's September 1st. Forza Motorsport, which is October? I forget the exact date. And then a bunch of other games like next year. I think Hellblade 2 is supposed to come out next year. Avowed, Flight Simulator 2024, and at least one other game is confirmed for next year. Anyways, players around the world will be delighted with the incredible lineup of games launching in the next few months, including, as I mentioned, Starfield and Forza Motorsport. It's also great to see the fantastic work the ABK teams, Activision Blizzard King, teams are delivering for their players with the successful launch of Diablo 4 and the ongoing performance of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and we congratulate them on their accomplishments. As we move even closer to the finish line, they were getting close to the finish line, and the finish line got moved another mile down the road type of deal. You're running a marathon, it's like, crap, I have to run an extra mile or something. That's what it feels like right now. We are more excited than ever before about furthering our mission to bring more games to more players everywhere. Signed, Phil Spencer, Microsoft Gaming CEO. Other recent stuff, Diablo 4. Top 10 million players in June, is also the fastest selling game in Blizzard history. There's a couple of other quick mentions, which I think I've got some of them opened. Yeah, here we go. The one I forgot to open up, or I think I opened up, then I closed it. And welcome back, Dave. Welcome back. See, Activision Blizzard. They released their their earnings report for the quarter ending June 30th, 2023. They make more money from mobile. Activision Blizzard makes more revenue comes from mobile than consoles or PC. So mobile grossed $943 million, or 43% of the total revenue, which is $2.21 billion for the quarter. Compared to $594 million, or 27% for PC, and $556 million, or 25% for consoles. And the other, I'm not quite sure what other exactly means, but other accounted for $114 million, or 5% of the total revenue. And they are the biggest percent where they make most of their money is in the Americas, which accounts for $1.28 billion, 58% of the total revenue. EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, I'm pretty sure that's what that stands for, accounted for $660 million, or 30% of Activision Blizzard's revenue for the quarter. And Asia Pacific accounted for $269 million, or 12% of the total earnings. Let's see. No, we already talked about that one. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I probably mentioned this already, but if not, Microsoft and Sony signed a 10-year legally binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 10 years. For 10 years, guaranteed Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation once Microsoft's Activision Blizzard acquisition closes, and that is to keep it 10 years guaranteed on PlayStation. Interesting enough, the original deal was going to be for all Activision Blizzard games, but this is now specifically just Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 10 years. So potentially, non-Call of Duty games from Activision Blizzard may, when in the future, new games may just be Xbox and PC only. I'm not sure the odds of that are, but it's not zero. There's a chance. Much like Starfield is an Xbox PC only, and some other Bethesda games, Xbox and PC only. Because Microsoft does release all their games day one on Xbox and PC, and I guess Xbox Cloud Gaming if you use that, though not many people do use Xbox Cloud Gaming. Let's see, Call of Duty 2023. So Call of Duty players And Activision Blizzard's earnings report did quickly mention Call of Duty approaching its 20-year anniversary in October, 20 years, with around 90 million monthly players, with over half of all engagement on the mobile platform. So there's about 90 million monthly players in Call of Duty, and over half of them come from Call of Duty Mobile, and I'm pretty sure there's a Call of Duty Warzone Mobile version is coming out later this year, I think. Activision teams are hard at work on major new installments in the franchise, slated for the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter being October to December. Development of this year's full annual premium release on PC and console is proceeding well. So it's going well so far. It hasn't been announced yet. It's 4 or 5 months away from release, probably, I'm guessing. It'll probably come out in November or December. Who knows? We'll see. We're impressed that people playing Call of Duty out there. A lot of people still playing Call of Duty. Heck, as I mentioned before, a lot of people are playing the old school Call of Duty games on the Xbox, the 360 Call of Duty games now. Because Microsoft fixed the servers, as I mentioned before, of the old Call of Duty games. So you can actually play them again. Specifically on Xbox. I don't think they've fixed the servers on other platforms, but, yeah. They don't own Activision Blizzard yet, so they can't really go in and fix the servers for other platforms, at least not until the deal closes. Call of Duty Warzone Mobile, an ambitious internally developed mobile game tightly integrated with the PC and console experience, continues to progress through regional testing. It also has been reported that Call of Duty 2023 is going to be a continuation of 2022's Modern Warfare 2, with Sledgehammer Games leading main development on the next Call of Duty game. Yeah, Call of Duty. Yearly release. How are they able to get a new Call of Duty every year? It's because there's, 8 or so Activision studios, and every single Activision studio is working on Call of Duty. Every single one. There's 3 main developers working on a different main Call of Duty game that comes out every 3 years. And then there's one also working on Call of Duty Warzone, I'm pretty sure, another on mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, and some other developers at Activision are support studios helping development on Call of Duty games. And Blizzard, the other part of Activision Blizzard, of course, there is King, the Candy Crush developers, but Blizzard has announced a selection of its games will be coming to PC on Steam. Goodbye, Battle.net. I mean, okay, Battle.net will be required, but starting with Overwatch 2 coming to Steam on August 10th, which, I mean, not a big surprise they're finally doing this, because Steam is by far the biggest digital distribution platform on PC for gaming. A number of PC games have only been available on Battle.net, including Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, and Diablo Immortal. In order to play Overwatch 2 on Steam, players will still need a Battle.net account connected to the game, and the Steam version will also support Steam achievements and friends lists. Blizzard President Mike Ybarra, it's our goal at Blizzard to listen to players and try to exceed their expectations in everything we do, while Battle.net remains a priority for us now and into the future. We've heard players want the choice of Steam for a selection of our games, starting with Overwatch 2 on August 10th. We're happy to work with Valve to make that happen. Valve President Gabe Newell has added, gamers and developers are both going to benefit from Overwatch 2 coming to Steam. Gamers will have another platform where they can play a beloved game that utilizes the capabilities of Steam, and developers will benefit from the effects of having the talented team at Blizzard helping us evolve our supported features and functionality for Overwatch 2. And I think that is about gonna cover it today. Again, Microsoft and Activision Blizzard extended the deadline for their merger from July 18th, yesterday, at least the time it's recording, but yesterday, July 18th, to October 18th. The UK regulator extended their final order for a deadline until August 29th, and they're working with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard on a new deal based on some new remedies in place, like Microsoft and Sony signing a deal to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for another 10 years, as well as rumors of Microsoft potentially selling off its cloud gaming service, specifically in the UK only, to another company to be running Xbox Cloud Gaming in the UK. But we'll see what ends up, hopefully in the coming weeks again. I'm expecting the deal to, at this point, to probably close early August. I mean, I could be completely wrong at this point. Who knows at this point what's going on? It's absolutely ridiculous. But we will see how things go. Should have probably had a really good service from what I heard. I don't know which one. It's just a rumor and reported that they're working on selling off their cloud streaming service to another company in the UK, but we'll find out whenever the CMA, Microsoft, and Activision Blizzard make an announcement of, hey, we're done! And then Microsoft can go and close the deal. I mean, maybe it won't be instantly when it's approved in the UK. More of it, because it's like 69 or 70 billion dollars that needs to be transferred over to shareholders. It's gonna take a while to transfer that much money over. Which is by far the biggest acquisition in gaming and Microsoft history, and probably one of the biggest acquisitions, mergers, just in history. Maybe not the biggest, but it's definitely up there considering how much it's crazy amount of money it is. But also, Microsoft is buying a lot of assets for that much money. It's like over 50 different IPs from Activision Blizzard. And obviously, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, Diablo, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Crash, Spyro, Tony Hawk, and just a bunch of other decently sized IPs. I'm hoping that with this acquisition, some of the other studios at Activision can work on something that's not Call of Duty. Maybe Call of Duty could skip a year once at some point, so the developers can work on something else. Developers have more time to make Call of Duty even better than it is now, type of deal. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000 something. I'm about 300-ish or so away. One of these years, maybe I'll hit that small little number. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time for some more gaming news, gaming sales, and other gaming industry information that comes out.